Yeah, let's talk about that North Division. That's exactly where I want to start, Dom, because this Montreal Canadiens team has been the biggest surprise of the playoffs. There's no question about it. Let's start with the first round. They eliminate the Toronto Maple Leafs, the top team in that division. They were down 3-1. What did you notice about that team, Dom, that made them kind of flip a switch and defeat the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Well, to be frank, they weren't playing that well to start the playoffs. And Carey Price really kept them in there. They were giving up a lot of chances through the first 4 or 5 games, and Price just kept them in. And they stole a couple of games in overtime. And then once they got through that, Toronto completely laid an egg in Game 7. They get through that series. And then when you come back from 3-1 down, and I've been on teams that have done this, you feel invincible after that because you've basically been out and now you're just playing with house money. So Price kept them in, they get through the series, and then they're just totally confident, feeling invincible, and they just absolutely steamrolled Winnipeg. Winnipeg, Price didn't actually have to be that good in round 2. It was actually just the Canadiens' stifling defense. There was probably like 2 grade A scoring chances in the whole series for Winnipeg, and it was a smothering effort. So we'll see how long they can ride that wave, Jonesy.
Yeah, they're obviously extremely confident right now, and I agree with you. I thought they defended really well against Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg did not have enough battle in them, which was surprising. I think that they allowed Montreal to openly defend them with ease, which was interesting to watch because you had greater expectations for Winnipeg. Not sure if the whole thing can be blamed on Mark Scheifele's suspension, but they clearly did not have much going offensively. So how much do we give Montreal credit for that? I think we give them a lot of credit for it. I think their defense did a great job. I think we had examples of it last year when Shea Weber and Petrie and Sherratt did a great job in the bubble and beating out the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then gave the Flyers all that they could handle in the first round of the playoffs. They teased it a little bit. They showed it a bit at the start of the regular season with a lot of the new additions they had, and then they lost it for a long period of time. So they recaptured it at the right time, and I think they become a dangerous opponent in the next round. I do believe they're inferior to whoever they play against in Colorado or Vegas, but they have some swagger right now. And when you can defend, you can beat anybody. So I don't think you can overlook them, although they're going to be heavy underdogs in the next round.
When you guys look back to that Jets-Montreal series, Jonesy, how much did the Mark Scheifele suspension influence what happened with the Winnipeg Jets in the postseason?
Yeah, I think it was a major deal because Pierre-Luc Dubois never seemed to be comfortable. He never looked like he was able to get to his game. So Scheifele would have alleviated a lot of those issues. It would have given Montreal a player to spend a lot of time on trying to defend against. He's an elite player and a great goal scorer and passer. So they caught a huge break, Montreal, because of his ill-advised hit. And Winnipeg had a major hole to fill, and both guys that were expected to fill it, in Stastny and Dubois, were playing with injuries. Dubois wasn't able to go in the first game, and Stastny came back about midway through the series. So I think it was a gigantic reason on why Winnipeg lost that series, but not the only reason.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Game 1, KT, like, the Jets were coming off 9 days of rest after sweeping the Oilers, and they were rusty to start Game 1. Their intensity was not there, and they got down early. But then they battled back and were making it interesting. They had scored a pulled goalie goal and were right there until Scheifele made that poor decision and did what he did, and that completely changed the complexion of the series. Scheifele's a top 10 player in this league. And you take him out, as Jonesy suggested, it has a trickle-down effect for all the lines after that, which made it really hard for Paul Maurice to try to, match up and have the depth that he needed. Especially, you look at like Montreal, their fourth line was one of their best lines with Perry, Stahl, and Armia, and they just couldn't match that at all. The Wheeler-Scheifele chemistry also got torn apart. Those guys are so good together. So Wheeler's game drops. Just so many ways that was affected, that affected the series. So it was a big loss, and Montreal's been fortunate. Tavares went out in the first round against the Leafs, and then Scheifele goes out in the second round. So, but they're riding high and playing a good team game.